Shetler, and the Shetler family. I think the lady has died now, but they used to get very upset when we used to just refer to it as the Tanner's Dry Dock because it was Tanner Shetler Dry Dock. Andrew did die early 1900s, and the family bought out, the Tanner family bought it out, so it always has been known as the Tanner's Dry Dock. It goes back to the 1880s. Mr. King was the first person to have a dry dock there. There is actually three dry docks in town. Lorenzo Ames had one. It was called a slide dock, where they basically hoisted the boats up out of, and a dry dock, just for people who don't know, is a service station basically for boats. It's where boats went and got repaired. They would build a boat once a year. Later on, a lot of the photographs you've seen of the dry dock there, they are building small launches, recreational boats. That became a popular business as commercial traffic declined on the canal. And a lot of these small dry docks, or these dry docks along the canal, turned to recreational, and that's what the canals are today. So it was kind of an early vestige of that happening along the canals. I think the most critical thing about the Tanner Dry Dock is we have photos. And it was here in existence in the end of the Erie Canal. What everybody remembers is by photos. I mean, there was a canal here from the 1820s, but aside from the wonderful drawings and paintings we have of it, there's no imagery, no photography that was available of that. And so I think the later canal we remember more fondly because we have images, and you based a lot of your work off the images that were, I mean, Tanner's was a popular subject, and it was a big dry dock, and so we have a lot of images, postcard images, and others. So I think that's what makes it important. And like if you look around the displays here, you see Len Tentillo's wonderful drawing of the Montezuma, the Seneca River crossing. But that's basically his investigation, the one image we have from Reverend Hopkins, and his speculation, his interpretation of the site. And I think that's the power of art, is that the artist can take and put us back into those spots and kind of replace what we don't have. I mean, it's an artist can take and recreate. If you look at Len's painting, it takes you back to 1825 or 1840 or whenever it was. And that's the power of your painting too, is all your paintings are kind of your interpretation, but they take us back to those times. So anyway, let's move on to the next.
Great.
Montezuma,
Thanks,
right?
Mike.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. That is so true. I really liked Art Cohn's comments a couple of weeks ago at the Samuel House, where he said our history is not only about what didn't work, but what did, and how we can build off of that. And I think the ideas that got spread by the Erie Canal, and just there's something that we can still draw on here in our community, even though the canal doesn't flow through our communities anymore. We'll travel on now west to Montezuma, and the Exchange Hotel was the first mural that we did there. I had that inspiration when I attended the dedication of the Old Brutus Historical Society in Wheatsport. Mark DeCracker talked about a dream of having a string of murals. 50 miles, I think, is what he was dreaming about, but I think it's even expanded, or I know it has expanded well beyond that, thanks to the work that he's done with Mural Mania. But the question in Montezuma then became where are we ever going to locate a mural? Because most of the buildings that were there in the canal era were gone. They had burned down. Basically, the town basically burned down. So we just didn't have any place to put it. We had discussed about the current hotel that's in the center of town now that remains, that was originally the Clifford House. But the structure of the building was so that we would have had to put it on the back side. It would have faced the park where the town hall is, but would totally have missed the Route 90 visual that we wanted to create for people to see as they were driving by. In 2010, when we started planning the park's development there, the town of Montezuma purchased a lot where the former Exchange Hotel was located. The hotel had burned in 1918, shortly after the barge canal opened. There was nothing remaining on that site except the abutment remains of the site, except for the Exchange Bridge, which was used between the Erie Canal and then the Cuba Canal that joined there. Our design committee at that time we were meeting to plan the park knew we needed to have a more visible entrance to the park. There was nothing left in the hamlet of the old canal, as I had said, and we created another entrance to the park at the trailhead right close by the Montezuma, where the Montezuma Fire Department is today. We began discussions of how we could locate a mural on this site showing the Exchange Hotel. Montezuma was first settled by Dr. Peter Linson Clark and Comfort Tyler. Both men were invested in early transportation, including opening the Montezuma Turnpike, now Route 31, between Albridge and Palmyra. Tyler built one of the first packet boats in Montezuma that traveled the Erie Canal. That was in 1820, even before the canal had officially opened in 1825. When the middle section was completed, he launched the Montezuma, and we have a model here of it. As our design committee thought about how we could display the mural, we decided to ask A. Verdi Container Company if they had a container we could use, and they kindly donated one. We discussed our plans with Dawn, gave her a historic photograph on the site, and decided it would be best for her to start painting that mural in the A. Verdi parking lot. Pardon me. The Exchange Hotel, I think I'm going to stop here and I'm going to ask Dawn to jump in while I get a drink, and then I'll come back in with a little bit of history.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have as much to say about the Port Byron experience, but because I was just painting in a parking lot. But it was very hot. Remember that? I remember I had to set up a sheet to paint under there, but it was very simple compared to, I think I had to get up on a step ladder, maybe, not climb scaffolding and drop.
Well, you had a scaffolding.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I guess I had my baker's scaffolding. That's true. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was a good experience, and
Now that's just on the panels, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, because the actual container has a pattern that wouldn't have looked so good. So we had panels put on, and then they were primed, which I really didn't talk about before, but yeah, everything needs to be primed, and then I use an exterior paint, so it should, and then a coating. I didn't mention that before. So, but each mural is done with primer exterior paint and coated with a UV protectant. So,
There were any
You
other
ready?
questions?
You ready then?
Yeah, pretty much, but I
Okay.
was wondering if there were
Yeah.
any questions.
How often do you have to put something over it?
Repeat
okay,
the question.
she asked, how often do I have to put coating over? Well, they do suggest every 5 years, but that hasn't been done. First of all, well, there hasn't been any funding for that sort of thing. I have done it on my own. The coating is very expensive. For a gallon, last time I bought it, was like $150. It does go a long way, but it's a type of a nasty gel that you mix with like a turpentine. and then you have to paint it on, and shouldn't get it on your skin. It's sort of like a wax, and then you really can't see it. But evidently it has come in handy, because I used it I painted some signs for Welcome to Weedsport, and there was one sign years ago, and I had used that coating, and somebody spray painted PB on there. Here we are on PB. I don't know, it was just some vandal. Who knows where it was from, what PB stands for, I don't know. But because I had that protectant coating on, I was able to take paint thinner and remove the spray paint.
Wow.
Because spray paint was sitting on top of this coating, so it didn't disturb the paint. So if I really wish I could. I guess that would be something I would like to do, is maybe get some funding and recoat like all my murals before, because they will fade. I mean, nothing lasts forever, obviously, but that does help the coating. But good question. Thank you for bringing that up, because it's good to know if we want to preserve art that's in
The elements,
outside. We really need to invest in a product to do that.
Great.
So yes, Joyce.
Like, how many gallons would it take to coat, let's say, the Exchange Hotel mural?
Okay, so Joyce says how many gallons it would take. Actually, 1 gallon would cover more than the whole side of the Port Byron,
Wow.
because you're thinning it. It really goes a long way. So, and I actually have some. I don't know how far it would go, and I haven't opened it for a long time, because you don't want to open it even inside. But so actually, it wouldn't be a huge cost, because if it was set up and we got the gallon, I think I could knock off maybe 2 or 3 murals. So that might be something to consider.
Yeah, I think we should talk to Mark DeCracker about that.
Yeah.
Set something up so
Yeah.
we could. Wonderful.
Can it be sprayed on?
No. As far as I know, Steve, he asked if it could be sprayed on, and as far as I know, it needs to be brushed on. And like I said, it's a type of a gel mix, so it's you can't even, I did roll it on the Jordan mural, and what happened, a little wind blew, and little pieces of trees stuck
geez.
to the mural, and I had to, go around and just pick stuff
Oh, dear.
off. So
Oh, dear.
it's really, you have to do it when it's not windy, and if you get it on your skin, you might not even see it till the next day. You would have black marks on your skin. I mean, it'd eventually go away, but unless they've come up with something better.
So for anybody thinking about doing a mural, the long-term maintenance is also
Yes.
a cost. I mean,
Which has never been. In fact, I think with Port Byron, I went ahead and just did that on my own. There was never any funding to coat that. Whereas in your case, there was.
We figured it in
Funding.
with the grant, I think, for the Richmond Aqueduct, and we had enough left over to recoat the
Yes.
Exchange. Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm probably about ready to
Yeah.
redo that. It's a good idea. Yes,
Are
Joyce.
there any that you consider are at risk now?
She asked if there's any murals at risk. Well, really all of them. We're all at risk in this type of weather. Who knows what? But the embankment between Weedsport and Port Byron, that is very disappointingly faded. But it's because it's in the sun. I suppose if I had put a lot of that coating on there, it might not be so bad. But it's also that building. It's not a building. It's the embankment. There's moisture and there's plants growing
Yeah.
through there. So sometimes it's not just a matter of where it is, but what it's on. So there's a lot of factors. But I don't think I could really say that one's just going to fade in time and just become what it is. It still has some relevance though. the four, what's that? What is it? The four, the train.
Yeah, the
Four
Four Freedoms,
freedoms, yes. The four freedoms.